Hey everyone, this is Sean, the What's Up Dude. We are at the Lincoln, New Salem Park, and we're headed to the visitor center, and we're going to go through the museum. Check it out. This is Sean, the What's Up Dude. There is a statue of Abraham Lincoln. And all the different things that he did. And it looks like the places he lived at are on the ground. And here is a dedication memorial to William Randolph Hearst, who in 1906 purchased the site of New Salem for the Old Salem Chautauqua Association in 1918. Over here, there is another statue of Abraham Lincoln with this iconic axe with Charity for All by the National Society of Illinois. Abraham Lincoln came to Illinois. Then I got to New Salem. Abraham Lincoln. We're gonna walk where President Abraham Lincoln walked as a young man. Now we're gonna see the very cabins that he lived in. Here's one of the log cabins here. We can't go in, but we can take a video and step on the front step. This is Henry Onstott's residence. Onstott, a native of Kentucky, was the community cooper. He built a 2-room house on this site in the spring of 1835. Later, needing more space, he added the frame lean-to. This was Onstott's third home in the village. He built his first home and shop in the eastern part of town about 1830. Upon his arrival in New Salem from 1833 to 1835, the Onstotts lived at the tavern, which they operated after the Rutledges moved to Sandridge. In 1840, Onstott moved to Petersburg and re-erected his home and cooper shop on Main Street, where he lived and worked for many years. So right here's his original homestead. This building here is a workshop. This is Henry Onstott Cooper Shop. The local cooper was a very important part of the village economy. Besides making buckets and tubs for domestic use, he also made barrels. Almost all produce was shipped in barrels at the time. Wet barrels for transporting whiskey or meat products and brine, and dry barrels for flour. This is what they used to use to go to the bathroom, the old outhouse. Some other buildings right here. Trent Brothers residence on August 27, 1832, Alexander Trent bought this lot where he and his brother Martin built a cabin for their families. Alex was a corporal in Lincoln's company during the Black Hawk War. In the autumn of 1832, he bought William Clary's store and was issued a tavern license that December. So this is where he would stay. The bedroom was back there. So there's about 30 cabins total in this area. Some of them you can go into and see the history. Now I'm going to show you the important ones because we only have a little bit of time. So we still have to walk through the museum. But here's some of the places that people lived. And there's a covered wagon right here. And And this one's open over here, so let's see what this is. The blacksmith area. So this is the on-site blacksmith that's working.
What are you making?
Right now, I am making a jig to make scrolls.
What's that?
I'll show you. Kind of to make hooks. So,
Oh, okay.
well, seasonless hooks. This is for the-
Oh, these?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what he's making.
Well, this is a jig to make those.
And that's the jig to make it.
Okay,
Ah,
right there. Now, I need something to make these.
yeah.
Because I got about 15 more of these I have to make. I don't have them all to be the same. Or at least close.
What are they?
Those are rope holders. So what I've done here is I've made a bigger jig that will take that bigger material. See, it's got more space in between there.
Yeah.
So that's what this is. That's made to take that bigger material so I can make those little holes consistently.
Hello. There's another house here. This is Robert Johnston's residency. Fireplace over there and the bed. Now, interesting fact, Abraham Lincoln did not actually own any of these cabins. He was known as a couch crasher, and he would stay from house to house and sleep at other people's homes.
You're YouTubing, all right.
Yep.
Welcome. Robert Johnson was a wheelwright, so he made wagon wheels, did tables and chairs. He made the original gears for the mill houses, so make sure you get a shot of that when you get down there, those big gears that are on the outside. This would have been an addition. This is a lean-to, so it would have been added to the side of the house with a dirt floor. The main room on the side that you guys just came through was a residential side where he lived with his wife and 2 daughters.
All right.
So like my blacksmith friend, my shop is functional as well, until earlier today. So basically, I was in the process of repairing the bar stool, so I broke one of the rods in the bottom.
Uh-oh.
So I made a replacement rod for it, and then decided that I want to make a second one. So I just got done a little bit earlier. This is the first leg that I spun out.
Oh, nice.
So it started off as a block wood like this, and it worked its way down to that. So pretty much I tried to do as close copy as I could. So starting on the second one, hopefully soon. So.
All righty. Here, this is an old well. And this is the Isaac Goulher residence. You can see inside there. Right down here, there are 23 other cabins of different residences that Abraham Lincoln would be surrounded by. Like I said, we don't have time to film them all. But we're gonna head back to the museum and see that before it closes at 5 o'clock. So in this town, Abraham Lincoln operated in a store. And a lot of times he would sleep in that store and other people's homes because he didn't have enough income at the time to actually purchase the land and the materials that he needed to have his own log cabin. Here is the museum and visitor center. We'll head over there now. Here is a model of the area that we're in now, New Salem. 21, I came to Illinois and passed the first year in Macon County, then I got to New Salem. Now here is a statue of Abraham Lincoln on a horse. Wilderness youth, an unbroken forest. Abraham Lincoln was born February 12, 1809 to Thomas and Nancy Hank Lincoln on a frontier farm in Kentucky. The young boy and his older sister Sarah performed farm chores and for short periods attended local schools. 1816, the family moved to the state of Indiana, struggling to cut a farm out of what Abraham Lincoln later described as an unbroken forest. Lincoln remembered that although only 7 years old, he was given an axe and put to work clearing land for crops. Nancy Lincoln died in 1818. Thomas soon married Sarah Bush Johnston, a widow who brought children of her own to the new family. So this is a history of Abraham Lincoln when he was young, and he was a hard worker, and he tried several different outfits of work and didn't have much success at first. And then the young man's easy manner quickly made him popular with New Salem's residents when he got here. One likely result was his 1833 appointment at New Salem's postmaster, a position that paid a percentage of the receipts and allowed Lincoln to read newspapers that arrived in office. Captain Abraham Lincoln, and he had military service, 3 terms of service, and then education deficient, reading, writing, and ciphering. Abraham Lincoln was largely uneducated on his arrival in Illinois. He attended Kentucky and Indiana ABC school for less than a year. Picking up, he later wrote the ability to read, write, and cipher the rule of 3, but that was it. So Abraham Lincoln had to self-educate to become educated to do all the things he did in history. And the Illinois legislator, candidate Lincoln, 1832, Abraham Lincoln declared himself a candidate for one of Sagamon's County 4 seats in the Illinois House of Representatives. A month later, Lincoln joined the Volunteer Army fighting the Black Hawk War and did not return to New Salem until 2 weeks before the August election. Though not elected, he won 277 of the New Salem precinct's 300 votes. He ran again in 1834 and won. Lincoln's surveying tools, some of the items on display here. Then he was a lawyer in Springfield and spent time there working. New Salem tradition. In 1846, he became a congressman in the House of Representatives, and he was the only Whig district in overwhelmingly Democratic Illinois. So he had a lot of opposition in his career as a politician. Republican organizer, and he entered into politics and tried to make a difference. And then he was the wartime president when we had the Civil War. On November 6, 1860, Abraham Lincoln was elected president. And the election of a Republican president resulted in a number of southern states declaring an end to their connection with the United States to form a new Confederate state. Efforts to compromise the issue of slavery and reunion failed, and a war began on April 12, 1861. Building in the face of war, the Civil War came to be the greatest bloodletting in American history. The president was actively involved in all aspects of the war effort, even to the point of making suggestions about strategy of his generals. And then Lincoln was assassinated on April 14, 1865, 5 days after the surrender of Robert E. Lee's Confederate Army. Some artifacts here, one of the barrels that were made at the time. Here, this is all about the project of reconstructing New Salem. So taking the log cabins and rebuilding them to their historical accuracy to remember a town and village long forgotten. This is a copy of the Holy Bible published in 1834 in Boston, Massachusetts. It was owned by New Salem residents Joshua and Nancy Miller. Here's some artifacts here with family records included in the Bible. That was a tradition back a long time ago where they would put the family records in front of the Bible. Most of what we know about New Salem comes from the recollection of former residents recording after many years the village disappeared. William H. Hurdon was Lincoln's last law partner. Hoping to write a biography of Lincoln, Hurdon were interviewed and corresponded with many old settlers. He collected the stories they told about New Salem, including that one of Abe and Ann's love affair. Hurdon's papers are now in the Library of Congress. So here you can read several facts and articles about Abraham Lincoln's life and the reconstruction of the buildings that are historical. Here's some of the artifacts. Here's one of the boats. Some of the tools and weaponry that they had back in the day. Lincoln arrives. Abraham Lincoln got his first look at New Salem in April 1831. He was 22 years old and been hired by speculator Denton Offutt to help build a flatboat and transport a load of farm produce and live hogs to New Orleans. Top of the museum, there are several artifacts. This is Rail Splitters, Petersburg, Illinois. This is the gift shop to the museum and Lincoln Salem historic site. Lincoln logs. Historic documents for $5. Here's some books. Abraham Lincoln's hat. Alrighty, I hope you enjoyed New Salem and the historic log cabins and the museum. And for now, this is the What's Up Dude signing off till next time. Please like, share, and subscribe so that I can explore new areas and go to more places in the future.